My dreams are so long. Like I wake up feeling like I've lived another life, and so the film would be so
very long.
5 hours long. So long.
It would be really days and days and days.
It would be Tom's cut.
Yeah, Tom's cut, exactly.
I would watch that.
I wouldn't.
Hola, ¿cómo están? Los saluda Gaby Cam y les doy la bienvenida a este especial de película de Sandman, la nueva serie de Netflix inspirada en los cómics de Neil Gaiman. En esta serie conoceremos a Morfeo, el rey de los sueños, interpretado por Tom Sturridge, quien fue secuestrado y tras muchos años de cautiverio necesita recuperar 3 objetos sumamente valiosos para él para restaurar así el orden no solamente en su reino, el de los sueños, sino también en nuestra propia realidad. En este camino Morfeo se topará con muchas entidades fantásticas como la muerte, Lucifer y el deseo, y también tendrá que enfrentarse a varios desertores. Tuve la oportunidad de viajar hasta Los Ángeles, California para conversar con Neil Gaiman, Tom Sturridge y todo el elenco de esta increíble serie que no te puedes perder.
Your waking world is shaped by dreams and nightmares that I create and which I must control.
Dreaming is such a mystery in so many ways. You never know why you dream what you dream. How far do you go into that kind of investigation and questioning to prepare to play Morpheus?
Well, I mean, I think weirdly, as far as our story is concerned, Morpheus is the answer to that question. Like, why do we dream what we dream? Because of the King of Dreams. And a kind of figuring that out was definitely a first step. I've always had very strange dreams, and therefore I do sort of think about them more often maybe than some people. But I think specifically also with our story, humans are, as far as I know, I haven't listened to many squirrels' poetry, but like the only people who write about their dreams, who think about them. We write songs about them and make films about them and write novels about them.
You both are storytellers in a way. Do you feel like storytelling can actually answer questions we have as human beings, like the ones you asked yourself when you were...
I think that stories are what make us human beings. I think that storytelling and the way that we take stories and we take what we've learned from the stories and what the stories mean and apply that to our lives is what's actually put us where we are as human beings, because the joy of being a human being is that you're not a single solitary beast, or you're not even out there in a herd. You get to take the knowledge of those who've gone before you. You get to take their stories, their wisdom, their mistakes, and apply that to your own life. And you've already got a leg up in the world. You have an advantage.
I never thought about the dangers of dreaming till I watched the Sandman. You know, to me it was like all pretty and amazing, and then I just thought about that. Did it give you some second thoughts on that as well?
Funnily enough, I think it's true of most people that you go through phases in a year, say, where you have a few weeks of intense dreaming. And I get this, and I had it recently, and whether it was connected to watching the previews of the show, I don't know. I dreamt a weird dream in which I went on holiday with Donald Trump.
Oh.
It was weird, and he was incredibly nice to me. And I woke up feeling I had betrayed everything I used to believe in, because I'd been... And so it wasn't really a nightmare, it was quite a pleasant dream, but it had the effect of a nightmare because it challenged my whole personality. And dreams can be like that. And, you know, there's a line, I don't think this is giving anything away, when the brothers and the sisters, and I think they're both of Morpheus, Desire and Despair, are talking about their importance and saying Dream thinks he's the important one, but doesn't he understand you can't even dream without despair or desire? Right. In other words, if you're in despair, you dream of getting out of it. And if you desire, you dream of achieving what it is you desire. And then in fact, and it makes you think of things like that. And that's what's so brilliant about Neil Gaiman, I think, is that without appearing to be intellectual or academic or in any way, you know, sort of taking himself too seriously, he does make you think. Because he makes thought an emotion. You know what I mean? So it's feeling. It's about being human.
If it makes you feel better, I once dreamed I was dating Lewis Hamilton from Formula 1.
Wow!
And I'm a Ferrari fan, so I felt...
Oh, that was a betrayal.
That was a betrayal.
It should have been Leclerc or Sainz.
I need your help. If dreams disappear, then so will humanity.
You could do without dreams for a while. I haven't had a decent night's sleep in ages.
I feel like it somehow changed the way you see dreaming and death and all of these things, because it really had me second guessing a lot of things that I never asked myself before.
Yes, I think it does. I think the portrayal of death is absolutely brilliant. And what Neil does so well is he takes characters and he turns them on their head. It's a completely not what you expect. So he wrong-foots the reader, he wrong-foots the character, but in a way that is totally about being human.
Inviting you, I think, like what you've been saying, inviting you to come and look at death with a completely different interpretation. I hope it's, you know, what viewers who watch the show will begin to consider in a very different way.
I think so, yeah. I think that's the point of every character. I mean, there's a line that Dream says, there's a line that I say to Dream, which is that, you know, people enter your world every night without fear, and then, you know, and they're so terrified of me, I'm paraphrasing. And I think that doing this role made me think so differently about all of these concepts, right? Like you were saying before about even just going to bed and dreaming, and how uncertain it even is that you will wake up again, but there's generally never a fear.
Your eyes will tell me everything, every thought, every feeling.
Tom, I have to tell you this. When I started watching the show, the first thing I did was go and look for interviews, because I was like, does he talk like that? You know, like, yeah. I couldn't kind of relate the voice to you, because it's obviously something for the show. Are there other things you wish people would notice about what you did with this character?
God, that's a good question. I mean, I think physically I changed a lot. Obviously the beginning of the show, he's naked for like 45 minutes and he doesn't speak.
It's like 2 episodes, actually.
Yeah. well, it's, I mean, I haven't seen it, and it was really important to me, because I didn't speak, to figure out a way to communicate that this wasn't a human, this was an endless. And if you read the books, like, he has a very specific physicality. He's like just sinew and bone and no flesh. I always think of him as like a panther who's been shaved. And so I spent a long time trying to get into that place, because I thought it was important. But yeah, I mean, the voice came from Neil. He just said that he has to sound like someone who is the voice inside your head, and the voice that guides you to sleep and will lead you through your dreams. And once I understood that, then it became easier.
I think he should do some like meditation tapes for people, right? Like, I need to go to sleep to time.
It's funny you should say that.
Oh, you've been considering it, or is it happening?
I think Netflix made me do like a sort of meditation thing for it. So there will be a Sandman, something like that. Yeah.
I remember one of the first shots actually with Tom, which was it was actually the sand, and just his physicality and the way that he is like he moves on a completely different time to everybody else. Physically, his kind of interpretation was really amazing and quite mesmerizing and quite like meditative.
My creations do not walk amongst the living, killing mortals for pleasure.
Oh, you don't think dreams can die? Let's find out.
Nightmares do not belong in the waking world.
What kind of questions trigger this story?
Well, what do cats dream about? I can see my cat there and she's going like that, and what's she dreaming about? And why should I be scared? Or questions like, I wonder what happened at the first performance of A Midsummer Night's Dream. And I remember being at the World Fantasy Convention in 1988, where all of the fantasy writers came together to talk about fantasy and do panels and stuff. And I remember just sitting there and I thought, I wonder if serial killers have conventions like this. And all of a sudden, that prompted an entire storyline.
I love seeing, Dream kind of fighting death and other very important parts of human beings. Do you think dreams can actually defeat death and hell and all of these things that we see in the show?
Well, I don't know about defeat, but I think certainly confront those, those things. I think it's really important because I think it happens to all of us. I think we do that in our dreams. I think we do have to confront things. I have people that I've lost in my life and they come to me in my dreams. And it's comforting and it's important and I need it. So.
There's a big difference, though, between the way the rest of the world talks about dreams and the way America does. Because in America, a dream really means ambition. It means what you want to do in life. So you talk about the dreamers, those who have arrived in America without full immigrant accreditation. They're called the dreamer generation. Disney has songs like, "When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true." I hope that's not right. Because if I wished upon a star, would I suddenly be attacked with a tennis racket by Ryan Seacrest? Because that was a dream I once had. I don't want that to come true. That's insane. And so really, dreams are much more interesting than just, one day I want to have a house in the suburbs and a nice, Escalade to drive. That's not a dream. That's just an ambition. But a real dream is something much more complicated and weird and frightening, yes, but also erotic and to do with appetite and feeling and the past, regrets, putting right. You're a child again and you can put right what you've got wrong. But it's not really just ambition, is it?
Basada en los cómics de DC, Sandman ya llega a Netflix y tú no te la puedes perder. Espero que la disfrutes. Besos.
Dreams don't fucking die.
Mr. Sandman.